We say at Share that there are two things to do. You can either go to a meeting, which is about sustenance and support and recovery tools and being invited back into the human race, or you can be of service. You can help out. Why is helping out such an important part of what we do at Share? Does anybody have any thoughts on that?
Because it gives them a sense of purpose.
Yeah. So for someone who feels like a ghost, a human ghost floating around that no one can see, what is it like to be invited to help vacuum the lobby?
Amazing. Wanted.
Yeah. So instead of like, yo, I'm homeless, I'm not going to vacuum your effing lobby. It'd be like, wow, you want me to vacuum the lobby? All right. And then every time they come in, they're like, I vacuumed that lobby. That's something I did. There's a realness to it.
It helps heal some of those unhealthy perceptions of themselves.
Exactly. It's a total, like all of these negative things and messages, you're unskilled, you're untrustworthy, you're less than. I'm now seeing that person as skilled, as valued, as contributing, as hardworking. It's a totally different message than the person's getting elsewhere. We want them to be getting these kinds of messages and not these kinds of messages, because everybody's going to come in with a deficit of praise and compliments. Everyone, including ourselves, I would say, including me. Like, we just need some of that positive all the time because we haven't had it. All right, so the story, sometimes I like to incorporate children's stories. This one's a very interesting story, and I like it because it's very old. This is a part of the oral tradition of the Wampanoag people who live on the East Coast, like in the Cape Cod area, or they used to. I guess there still are Wampanoag people still around. They called themselves the Wampanoag, which means the children of the first light, because they're right on the coast and they would see the dawn coming up. And so they connected that to like their origin story. So they have this story of the good giant, Mashop, who helped the people by, he would do everything for them. He would go fishing and bring them the fish that he caught. He would chop firewood and start the fire so that they could cook. He would help them build their houses. He did all of these things for them. And then the Great Spirit came to him and said, Mashop, you have done too much. The people have become lazy and they don't want to do anything for themselves. If they don't do anything for themselves, then they can't be part of the medicine circle of life. Everyone takes from life and everyone gives back to life. And everyone needs to be participating in that great circle. And Mashop thought about it and he said, you know, Great Spirit, you're right. I need to stop doing all of these things. And he waded out into the ocean, and according to the legend, he turned into a whale and swam away. The Wampanoag are very connected to whales. It's part of their worldview. So the people then had a chance to realize, you know what? We can build our own houses. We can go in the forest and build fire pits and cook our own clams. We can learn how to make our own clothing. And they realized that they had a lot to offer and they felt really good about it. So what is the message of this story? Why has this story been passed down through the oral tradition for so many generations? What is this ancient wisdom?
I think perhaps it's like pointing out the limitations of the individual, like in contrast with the power of community.
Yeah, we can do more together, for sure. So in order for the people to learn how much they had to offer to themselves and to one another, what needed to happen?
They had to do it themselves.
The
They had
Great
to
Spirit, The Great Spirit had to intervene and stop Mashab from doing everything, because Mashab was getting a lot out of it. He loved being the helper and helping everybody. But the Great Spirit had to explain to them why that was damaging. Mashab had to turn into a whale and swim away in order for the people to learn how much they had to offer. How is this relevant to what we're doing as Share?
Well, it's
Maybe
kind of like,
doing things for yourself builds self-esteem.
Yes, for sure. Jennifer?
I was gonna say, well, it's kind of like as a mom, you know, you keep doing something over and over for your child, you're never teaching them life skills, and then they go out in the world, they don't know how to do nothing. So you tell them, okay, you learn, you do your laundry, and so, you know, now they do it, and now they know how to do it, and then they keep doing it.
Yeah, that's right. It is not so different than what parents have to do, which I think is incredibly challenging. I don't have kids, so I don't really know, but what I notice is that when a baby is born, everything has to be done for them. They can't even lift their head. But by the time that same being is grown up, they do everything for themselves. So the parents have to constantly change what they're doing all the way along to give the kids some space so that they can grow up, right? I think it's very hard. You know, when your kid is 2, they have totally different needs than when they're 10, right? And you just have to constantly be adjusting this. This isn't so different than what we do, although we're not parents in our role as peer specialists, but we have to be thoughtful about the ways that our desire to help can lead us to become Mashab the good giant. Like, I know you wouldn't be here, you wouldn't be at Share unless you wanted to help others, right? And yet that desire to help could be damaging to the community. Like Mashab's desire to help, as the Great Spirit pointed out, was damaging to the community. So what do you make of that?
We have to turn into whales.
You must turn into a whale. That is the next part of this training. Thank you, Tony A, for this insightful. We rely on you for these insights, Tony.